Bonjour encore. On this new walk, I'll show some parts of the village not previously covered. And we start by walking down this street next door. We are literally on the corner of this street. Don't think I mentioned that before. The street leads out of town and to the D104 departmental or county road, which happens to also be right outside our back gate. So we are between two roads. On the right is my neighbor's house, which has great gardens, but unfortunately they're behind some walls. Can't really show them to you properly. But they are nice and they grow a lot of vegetables and a lot of ornamentals. There are things to see down this street though. Two things I want to show you. One to the left, one to the right. And you see that mirror, which is used to let people coming out of the side road here know whether somebody's coming or not. And just to the left is the first thing I want to show you. It is the tannery. You see, and the sign says "En poste tannier" or tannery's dead end, I guess, or the tanner's dead end. As for usual, the lower right-hand corner contains the English. Feel free to pause and read it if you wish. When I first saw this place, there were people looking at it with what I imagined to be as some sort of estate agent or agent immobilier. I believe they must have rented the place because that is their car. Now across the street is the Templars Meadow, because it was once owned by the Poitou-Charentes group of Templars. I don't know what they did with it, raise sheep maybe. It would have gone to the crown after the Templars were deposed and destroyed. It may still be public land. In fact, it must be, because there's nothing on it. Now up this way, we are going to skip a couple blocks real quick. Here we go. And now we are right where we turned before to go to the park across the river from the old mill. But this time, we're walking up the street, past the old buildings, and we're going to turn right and see another park. Yes, it's a village with at least 3 parks. Here's a bit of the old buildings. Walking across the river and up the street. There's a house on the right just around the corner that, if it weren't for the car in the driveway, looks like it could be abandoned. However, there's a car in the driveway and trash cans sitting by the street. This was 24 hours past trash day, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure somebody lives there. And I believe they own this outbuilding too. Looks like the country, but it's not. We are still in the village. You notice there's still a curb along the left side of the road even. And just around this puffy looking bush is a driveway leading into a parking lot for the park, which has to do with the fountains, that is the springs, of which there are 18 in the area. There's one here, which we're going to see as we go along. First, though, you'll note this park has exactly the same poster as the other park we saw, Discovering Lizant. But we've discovered it, so let's move on. We're going to walk off into the mown area, or is it mowed? All the stuff beyond the area that's trimmed is basically wetland, which leads over to the river Cebu, or Cebu, C-A-B-O-U, Cebu. I've never seen that river, mainly because of this wetland. It's pretty squishy in there, and I don't particularly like getting my feet wet in swamp waters. But we'll walk down and look at the spring anyway. It's not far. The spring helps cause the wetland, but it's not technically in it. And once we're in the shade, the picture will get a little better because there won't be those reflections. That's nice. Right over here is the spring. It's named after the first owner of this property, which name you will see on a historic marker right at the end of this video, if you care to read it. It's in the title of the marker, so it's easy to find. People used to get water here. You see there are steps leading down. I don't know if all 18 springs have steps leading down to them, or if some of them just burble out of the ground and run away. This is the only one I've seen, honestly. The others don't seem to have historic markers associated with them. I can't find them. Now the spring runs into this lovely green river here. Ireland-worthy green. You thought your pool was in danger of getting green. Ha! Those look like floating liverworts. I don't know if there is such a thing, but that's what they look like. Now turning around, going back up toward the road, you see an old building which probably was a limestone kiln at one time. You see there is a bench which you could not pay me to sit on at dusk. I know from experience French mosquitoes are voracious. I would need a blood transfusion if I sat there at dusk. We're going to walk back up to the road and see the historic marker. It's right next to that light pole you see on the left. It's hard to see it. First, we're going to take a quick look up the road, and you will see there's a fork in the road. The right fork goes along the river where there is a fish hatchery, among other things. The left fork, which you can actually see, runs up the hill and goes to the new part of the village, which consists of pretty much contemporary rural housing, which would not be out of place in the United States. Really ordinary looking, so I'm not going to bother to show it. And here is the historic marker. Cellier was his name. Again, the lower right-hand corner is English. Feel free to read. I'm going to pause my narration right now in order to let you hear the birds. And so now we turn and go up the road, and we'll finish this walk on the next video. So that will come up fairly soon. Don't forget about me. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.